Hi Pumas, and welcome to your project My Toy Store. In the Google Classroom there was 2 videos you should have watched. A tour of 2 factories and toy stores. After you watch the videos, I want you to think, what makes a good store name? What should the front of a toy store look like? What I want you to do is I want you to brainstorm right now and stop and discuss with the other scholars around you. Hello, you've decided that you want to start your own business. You've chosen to open a toy store because you know that people in your town love to buy toys. You will be given tasks to complete to help you make good choices. When starting your toy store business, make sure that you complete each task carefully. Always have someone check your work. Doing the math correctly is an important part of being a business owner. So I want you to write your name right here. So for example, I would write Mrs. Wamis's to-do list. And as you are working through and creating your toy store, every time you complete an item, you'll go back to this and check it off. Part 1, design your storefront. Write the name of your toy store on the top of your storefront. Choose a color scheme that will make kids want to shop at your store. So you need to carefully color this and think of what would be engaging for kids. Pause this video and press play when you're ready to come back. Now that you've designed your storefront, I want you to think about these questions. How do toy store owners choose which toys to stock in their store? How many different toys should they have in their store? I want you to pause this video and have a discussion about these 2 questions with the scholars around you. Press play when you're ready to move on. Part 2, choosing your toys. Below or on the next 2 pages, you will have the toy catalog. The toy catalog features the toys and the price of the toys. On the following pages, you will find some graphs, and a survey section. So what you're going to do is you are going to survey some people and ask them for their top 3 choices. This is the survey part. You have 2 pages and one has been crossed off, so ignore that page because it's a repeat page. But what you're going to do is you have to survey a lot of people. So for example, if you came up to me and you asked me, Mrs. Wamis, what 3 toys would you like to see in the toy store? I would say an RC car, so you would do a tally for an RC car. I would say a star bouncy ball, so you would mark a tally for star bouncy ball. And then I would say a play drum, and you'd mark a tally. So I only get to pick 3. Then you would go to someone else, and let's just pretend, so you're doing some tallies, 3, and you're going to go until you have, you've interviewed at least 15 people. More than 15, the more people that you interview, the better, because you'll have more data to go with, but at least 15 scholars. So I want you to pause the video, and I want you to go find 15 scholars to interview. Now that you have interviewed scholars and you've gotten your data, it's time to put it into a bar graph. You have 2 pages. The first page is an example or sample bar graph, and you'll notice that it lists all the toys. Well, if you look at your data sheet, or if you look at mine, you might notice that not all the toys were listed. So like dump truck and giraffe, there's like 0. So what I want you to do is you're not going to use this page because it did it for you, and you're independent, so you should be able to do this by yourself. You're going to take your data over here and you're going to put it into a bar graph. So if you forgot how, you can look at this one as a sample on where they put their toys, but you're also going to have to put some sort of number system over here, a title, so you can see that they have a title over there, and I want to see your bar graph. So for example, star bouncy ball, I got 5 votes. So star bouncy ball, first I have to start at 0, and maybe I want to go up by 5s on mine. I don't know, it just depends on the type of data. And I have to find star bouncy ball, which you can see is right here is the ball, and 5. So I'm going to go up to 5 and shade it in. So you need to do that with your data, but again, you need to do it on this one. And then down below, it says summarize the information from the graph above. What does this information tell you about the toys? How is this graph going to help you decide what toys you're going to choose for your toy store? Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on. Now that you have created your graph and you've done your summary, you're going to answer these questions. According to your graph, which toy would you sell the most? According to your graph, which toy would you sell the least? How many more, think what that means, people chose your most popular item than chose your least popular item? And then finally, you're going to choose 8 toys to sell at your toy store. Write the names of the toys below. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on. Now that you've figured out which 8 toys you want to display in your toy store, it's time to create the inside of the store. I want you to think about how stores place certain items. For example, where they would place the checkout counter, where they would place their most popular toys, where they would place their most least popular toys in the store. What you're going to do is create the inside layout of your store. So you have some graphing paper right here. And what I need you to do is, on the next page, you see that your checkout counter has to be 9 feet by 6 feet. And we're going to pretend that each one of these square units is 1 square foot. So you have to first figure out and draw in pencil where your checkout stand is going to be. So if I label this, and this is the front of my store, I might have my checkout over here. And I would have to figure out the 9 by 6. So I'd have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if that's 9, but you can do it. By 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And doing this in pencil. And I would label it counter so I don't forget. Then what I'd have to do is I would have to find the dimensions. I would figure out the dimensions of my display counters. So maybe I have to figure out what the dimensions are for this. I have a huge display over here, and I've got aisles. I've got to make aisles. Drawing it in pencil and figuring it out. And then with these layout pieces, I have to then go and find my toys that I want, and there's different size ones. And I need to place them and see if they're going to fit within my display counters. And then I need to make sure that I sketch it all out in pencil first. On the following page, it says something called Part 3, and it tells you and gives you the dimensions, the area of each one of these pieces. So for example, if I look at it, it says large teddy bear with bow is 75 feet squared. So large teddy bear with bow, this one is 75 feet squared. So I have to think, okay, how am I going to get to 75 feet squared? What times what? What by what will give me 75? So for me, I know that's 15 by 5. So if I want to display it over here, I have to make sure that I have a 15 by 5 area to put my bear there. So once I have mapped out everything and I've done the math, then you will carefully cut and paste your display items on your display. I want you to think, are you leaving enough room in between the displays for people to walk? Where are your customers going to line up for the cashier, the register? Where's the exits? You have to plan everything. And then you need to explain, where did you put your checkout counter and why? What problems are you solving by making this choice? Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on. So again, here's that toy display sizes, and you need to make sure that you're looking at the area for each item before you place it. Here is a sample of my store. You can see where I have my checkout counter, and actually on the side I have labeled where the door is, and you can just see my display items on my big counters. You can also feel free to put more than one, like if I want to put multiple giraffes here, but you just have to make sure that they all fit. Now that you've created your store, I want you to think about these questions. How do stores make money? What can you do to make sure that your store makes enough money? Pause the video and discuss with scholars around you, and then press play when you're ready to move on. Now you have to figure out how much money you would make if you actually sold the toys to each person that you surveyed. So you're going to use your data from Part 2, and you are going to calculate how much money you would make. So you're only going to talk about those 8 toys that you chose. So for example, you can see that I chose giraffe stuffed animals. So number of people that would purchase this item, 5. Profit for each item is 3. So I have to think, if 5 people bought them at $3 each, how much would it be? So I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I got the answer of 15. I did not talk about teddy bear. If you can see over here, I did not sell teddy bears in my store. So I'm just going to write this as 0 and zero it out. Star Bouncy Ball, 2 people bought it at $2 each. How much would I make? Doll, 4 people bought it at $6 each. Large teddy bear, you can see over here, I did not include it in my store, so I'm zeroing it out. RC car, 5. Light up toy, 6. Play drum, zeroing it out, I'm not selling it in my store. Horse toy, 3. Baby play car, 2. Baby ring stacker, 1. Dump truck, I'm zeroing it out. So then once I've calculated all my profit over here for each toy, how do I figure out the profit that I made from all of these toys? What do I do to figure out this? Pause the video and press play when you're ready to move on. So now that you've created your store, you have to think, how do toy stores get customers to actually visit their stores? What words or information can you use to get people to come to your toy store? What type of advertisements are available for store toys to use? So you have a blank piece of paper. I want you to sketch out your idea for an advertisement to create a toy store. Once you've sketched out your idea, you can then go into Google Slides and make a better advertisement or even make a video ad using Screencastify. So you need to make an advertisement for your toy store.